Get ready to learn the top secrets and simple strategies for living the life of your dreams. Welcome to Living the Dream Podcast, where it's not just about achieving your goals in the future, it's about enjoying your journey along the way. Here are your hosts, Krista Joy and Christy Fredericks.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our show. Are you someone who wanders through their day aimlessly, putting out one fire after another, allowing hour after hour to be hijacked by someone or something else? Do you go to bed at night having no idea what, if anything, you accomplished that day towards your important goals?
Or are you someone who faithfully writes a to-do list and follows it each day? Do you finish your days feeling like you've gotten done what you set out to do? And are your days filled with purposeful action? If so, we want to join your club. Many experts, entrepreneurs, and high achievers believe that a simple to-do list is a critical tool to achieving success and making the most out of your life. So today, we're going to share with you 10 top benefits of to-do lists and how they can change your life for the better.
I'm excited to get started on this, Christy, because, everyone says that if you don't make a plan, someone else is going to make a plan for you. And
that is absolutely true. I love that.
Yeah, we really got to be intentional with our time so it doesn't get hijacked. And so I'm excited to read all these tips aloud and hopefully apply some of these into my own life. So our first reason why you want to have a to-do list is because, believe it or not, it reduces anxiety. When you feel like you have a million things to do, it can get very overwhelming. Getting all those things out of your head and down on paper can instantly begin to reduce stress, whether it's because it doesn't appear as bad as you once thought it was, or maybe it's because you aren't worried about forgetting something important. Either way, your mind begins to feel relief once it starts to sense a bit of control over the situation. I agree with this, Christy. How about you?
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes I have what seems like a million things in my head. And if I can write them down and feel like, okay, that's just a load off. I don't have to remember that thing. I don't have to worry about forgetting it. I've got it down on paper somewhere. I think it does. For me, it definitely does reduce anxiety. Does it for you?
Well, we've talked about this in past episodes. I will tend to, when it just gets to be too much, I do what's called a brain dump, and I will just write like everything that comes to my head that I don't want to forget, that I know I need to take care of, because there's just not enough room in my brain for all those things to be swimming around. So I'll write them all down on one big list. But then I think it's important to narrow it down like per day, because we talked about this. Some people do the 3 things. If the 3 things get done, you'll feel great at the end of the day, or 5 things or 6 things, whatever it is. To narrow it down, I think really helps, because otherwise we'll just go crazy with this big, huge list we're looking at every day.
So step 1, get it down on paper. Step 2, a little bit of our step 2, which it improves your focus. So you use your to-do list as your personal roadmap to success. So when you feel yourself starting to drift, you can grab your list, take a look, and refocus on what you actually need to get done. So I think this is exactly what you're talking about. So rather than, like, I tend to do this. There's so many things swimming in my head. I will begin one task and then midstream I'll get diverted and be like, oh no, wait, shoot, I got to go do this. And then, 4 hours later, I realize, oh my gosh, I have laundry in the dryer. I have laundry in the washer. It needs to go in the dryer. I got to go take care of that. I'm starting to make dinner. Oh no, I forgot I needed to do something else. And then I come back and dinner's halfway done. It's just, I'm all over the place. So, having the big list and then really focusing and narrowing it down and figuring out what I really need to get done that day is super helpful. Do you think that works for you?
It's so funny, Christy. We're thousands of miles apart, with me in Florida and you in Colorado. And sometimes the things you say, it's like we're living the same life. But yeah, focus because of social media. That's because part of what I do is I need to be on Facebook to do it. So it's very easy to get distracted and you fall into that rabbit hole. And then, so I'm so thankful sometimes that I've written my list so I can look back at, okay, what was I doing again? So yeah, definitely improves focus, making that list. That's a great one. Our next one for you guys is number 3, increases self-esteem. Wow. We could all use some of this. So bask in that feeling of accomplishment every time you get to cross something off your list that you've completed. That boost of success will propel you forward, increasing productivity and keeping you even more motivated. So, yeah, I mean, I've done the whole Google Calendar thing where it's all there, but I love the feeling of literally crossing it off the list so I can feel a little more accomplished and feel like I got something done and didn't just run in the hamster wheel all day.
I agree with you. I've been lately using Keep on my phone, and it gives you little check boxes, but I'm not getting the same satisfaction
Yeah, isn't that
when
weird?
yeah, it's really strange. And I thought it was going to be super handy to have it on my phone, right? Because everybody always has their phone with them. And I thought, okay, this way I'll have my to-do list right with me every day, everywhere I am. But I'm not liking it as well. I don't feel that real sense of like I've gotten something done because I'm not physically marking it off of anything. I'm just, again, like just clicking on my phone like we do all day anyway. So it doesn't have that same feeling. So I actually got a notebook out today when you and I were talking before recording and just started like writing things down because I don't know, it's different. And I don't know what the psychology is there, but I feel like if I actually put pen to paper and I can see it visually, it really does make a difference for me. And I really do feel like I'm getting things done and being productive. And it really does help me feel better about myself and what I'm doing each day.
Yeah, there's something to it. I absolutely believe that.
So number 4 helps you prioritize. So putting together a to-do list can help you figure out which tasks are most important and where to begin each day. So get the most critical and most difficult items done first, and the rest of your day will be a breeze. And we talked a little bit about this in one of our past episodes where we were talking about our morning routine. And we were talking about the old Mark Twain saying about eat the frog and his quote about if you eat a live frog first thing in the morning, like the rest of your day, like what worst thing can happen to you that day? So that whole theory of, getting the worst done first and everything else from there will seem downhill.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, our number 5 tip, it creates accountability when you make these to-do lists. So there's something about putting something in writing that gives it life. Once you have a task written down on your to-do list, you have basically made a promise to yourself that you intend to complete it, and don't let yourself down. You're not as likely to. That's for sure. Something to that creates accountability. Well, goodness, it just, for one thing, it helps you not to forget what you got to do. So you're more accountable right there.
Absolutely. And there's some people out there, and some days I tend to be this way where I want to be the overachiever and I don't want to fail. And I think, most people don't want to set themselves up to fail. But, once I put it down, I feel committed. I feel like, okay, I made this commitment that I was going to get this done. I've got it in writing. It's not as easy as just zapping it off my phone anymore. It's like physically on the piece of paper, and I tend to write in pen. So even if I scribble it out, like I visually still see it. And I don't want to let myself down. I do want to, I want to keep that promise to myself, because if I can't keep promises to myself, can I keep promises to anybody? I don't know. I think that it does really help you.
Yeah.
So then we have number 6, helps you delegate. Okay, this one I sometimes struggle with, but I think this is really important. Once you get everything on your to-do list, you will hopefully find that there are some items that you can delegate. Ask a friend, a family member, or even hire someone to help you out. So how do you feel about, I tend to do everything myself. I struggle with asking for help. How are you on this one?
I love to delegate, as you know.
I know you do. I know you do. Working with you, it's interesting because, yeah, we have a little bit different style. I'm like, oh, Krista, I can do that. We don't have to pay somebody to do that. I can do that. And then you're so good at delegating. I admire it so much. I feel like I need to really learn from your example.
Well, it's been reinforced in my life. Okay, so first of all, Elvis Presley and Walt Disney, my 2 heroes in my life, both of them built a strong team around them. And Walt was very vocal about how you can't achieve things on your own the way you can with a strong team around you. And that also comes from my direct sales background, where the founder of our company would always say the same thing, like, You multiply yourself when you have a good, strong team. Now, if you have a team that's ridiculous and not good, then you're going to make yourself more work. It's going to be terrible. But in my life, I don't know if I just put out the vibe or whatever. God really has put wonderful people in my life at just the time that I needed them. And it started way back when I first started like my Disney platform and was blogging and podcasting about Disney. And we put together the KJE Dream Team. And that's one of the ways I found you and built that relationship with you. I put some of my very favorite people in one Facebook group together, and we all kind of worked towards the same goals because we all love Disney. But it was just so great because when I needed help with things, you guys had different talents and you guys would help me spread the word or make graphics and I just felt so blessed for all those years. Because you can get so much more done. And there was an example of it yesterday in my own life. I was telling you I had a friend over and one of our episodes was out. Not only was it out, it was on YouTube, it was on Anchor. Not only that, it was on a fantastic website, all because of you guys pitching in and helping me, because I know I can't do stuff by myself, not at this level, and not maintain my life. So I just feel like it's really important to build not important, but it's detrimental almost that if you're going to do great things, you got to have a good team with you. You can't do it. I mean, you want to do it all yourself, and it would be great if I could do it all myself, but I just know my limits, and I know that I'm going to have off days and bad days. And that's when you guys come through and, Christy's like, I just built this beautiful website and it's up, and I'm just like, wow. And it just makes me so grateful to God. It makes me remember that I can't do these things myself. So why would I even, attempt to do that? So that's always like one of my first goals. When I start a big project in my life, I want to delegate. So I don't know if my to-do list helps me delegate, but I kind of like that thought where if it is too big and too overwhelming, you can look at it and ask yourself, now, do I have to be doing this thing? Like, do I need to address all these envelopes and handwrite them all myself? Probably not. Probably I could get a neighbor kid to do that. Or, that's the other thing, Christy. I feel like there's people out there that are going to do it better and they're going to have more fun with it. So the stuff that I don't want to do, I'm really happy to delegate, because I know there's people out there that want to do it and be excited about it and be 20 times better at it than me. So why would I take that from them? I'm going to let them do it,
Yeah, the first time in my life, this is probably one of the first times where I'm really delegating something. I'm having kind of a personal situation with my mom right now, and I don't have the skill set. I am in no way qualified to deal with what she's dealing with. And we were referred to this lady who I swear is an angel. This lady specializes in my mom's situation. She has stepped in and she is handling all of these details that I have tried to do before and was not successful with. And she's amazing. And it's the first time I think I can really think of in my life where I've trusted somebody and really just kind of given up. I think it's a little bit about control, giving up the control and just been like, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. I've tried to do this. I was not good at this. It did not work. I really need an expert. And I have this lady that was just a blessing. She has, hopefully everything works out and goes smoothly from here. And, but I'm relying on her heavily. And so far she's come through on everything over the last couple of weeks. So, fingers crossed, this is going to be a really good lesson to me about it's okay to trust other people to do things. It is okay to delegate, even like the really big, high stakes items. If you can find people that know how to do it, that's what, like you said, other people have these gifts and talents for a reason. And there's no reason why we can't reach out when our to-do list becomes too much. And rather than stressing and being anxious about it, just learning to let go a little bit. So it's a struggle. It's a challenge for me, but it will be a good lesson learned, especially going forward in the future.
I'm really glad you're having that life experience. That's really important. And this is off subject a little bit, but when you know one more thing than the person next to you about a subject, you're an expert. It makes you an expert. And we kind of take for granted the stuff we know. We're like, oh, everybody knows how to do that. Oh, everybody probably, it's funny how we do that. And then another people looks at your talent, your gift, this lady, look what she's doing for you. And you're like, whoa, this is a really big deal. And it gives you a chance to kind of praise her and be thankful for her and tell her, what a difference she's making in your life, because she probably wakes up every morning and thinks anybody could do this.
Oh my gosh, I've sent her so many emails. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. There's no way we could be doing this without you. You are absolutely the best. It's just like
it means so much to you. I know, it's amazing. I had my kid's dad came over and painted a couple of the bathrooms and fixed a couple things around the house that had just been sitting for years, and we just dealt with them being broken. And he came and he's in a whirlwind, like few hours over 2 days. I'm like, you don't even understand how this changed my life. To him, it's like, what's the big deal? I just painted a bathroom. But to Peter and I, especially me, it just meant so much to me. And so, yeah, I think it all just kind of balances out. And we kind of went off topic a little bit, but a to-do list is going to help you delegate. And I love this because I never thought about it this way. My to-do lists are usually all stuff I have to do. But I need to start looking at them in a different way and thinking to myself, because I do this in my normal everyday life. Now, do I need to be the one that does this exact thing? Because if not, somebody else needs to do it so that I can be doing, income producing activities. I can feed my family instead of, whatever this dumb thing is that I don't need to be doing. So a to-do list will help you delegate. I love that. That's big for me today. Thank you for putting that on the list. All right, number 7. Why do we want to make a to-do list? Well, because it creates structure. Rather than surviving your days, jumping from one thing to the next, never really feeling like you've successfully accomplished anything, making a to-do list helps to create order and structure. It can serve as a guide on how to work your way through the day. I love this one too. And I say that a lot on the show. Back when we edit them, how many times I say I love this? It's a lot. But it creates structure for sure. Because again, like I was saying, when I'm distracted and going down a rabbit hole, I can look at my list and remember what I'm actually supposed to be doing. So I totally agree with that one. How about you, Christy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I try to, before I go to bed at night, make my to-do list for the next day. I have on my little phone, which again, I'm going to move back to paper because I like paper better. But on my little phone right now, I have a list. It's called Upcoming, which is basically my big list. And then I have To Do, which is like today's things. Like these have to get done today. And what I try to do is move things off of the upcoming list and onto today's list. And I put them in order that makes the most sense, or they're on the calendar, like if I have appointments and things like that, or meetings, something, I put them in order. And it really helps me a lot because, I have 2 kids at home. I have a husband that works interesting hours. And so I have these little blocks of time in order to accomplish things when other people are maybe sleeping or not here. So it's so important for me to have a little bit of structure. So the to-do list helps tremendously for that.
Yeah, good stuff.
So next up, number 8, we have improves sleep. So moving your to-dos out of your head and onto a list, especially before bed, can help you get a better night's sleep. Rather than lying awake, fretting about everything you need to get done or afraid that you'll forget something important, you instead have an action plan ready to go the next morning. So just like I was talking about, right before bed, I make that list, take it off the upcoming list, stick it onto the to-do list so I can go to bed and just be like, all right, I'm good to go. I know exactly what I need to take care of tomorrow. No worries. At least no worries about the to-do list. How about you, Krista?
Yeah, this is a very real thing. And on the occasion where I'm having trouble sleeping, it will be because I didn't write everything down. So it's kind of swimming around in my head. So I totally agree. A to-do list is going to improve your sleep. And that's a big thing right now. People are really having trouble sleeping. I don't know if it's as we get older or the stress in life or whatever. Never used to be a thing for me, but every once in a while I'll have trouble with sleeping. And if I get up and write my to-do list, it'll definitely help me out because I know it's on paper, so I won't forget anything. And I really don't know how people get by without to-do lists, honestly.
I don't either. I have no idea. I mean, maybe it's people who don't necessarily have a lot of different things that they're working on. And when I say things, I mean like different businesses and family responsibilities and work responsibilities. I feel like if I had just one task, maybe I wouldn't need the to-do list. If I was going to my 8 to 5 job every day, and every time I went to my job, it was really clear what I needed to get done. And beyond that, I didn't really have any other, responsibilities. Maybe I wouldn't need so many to-do lists, but I feel like I'm always running in a lot of different directions. And if I didn't write it down, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, especially with work ramping back up and just where we're supposed to be on a daily basis. It's just my brain is writing everything down. So speaking of our brains, number 9 reason to have a to-do list is that it organizes your thoughts. Getting everything down on paper helps to get things organized, especially on larger complex projects, which Christy and I, our days are just long and complex projects. So seeing all of the steps in front of you can allow you to break down the task into smaller, more manageable pieces that are easier to accomplish. Christy, I struggle with, sometimes I have great big ideas and follow through can be my problem. So the to-do list will just help me to stay on track, organize my thoughts, and remember that, okay, this is the thing I needed to get done today. And even though that over there is a fantastic idea, I'm just going to write that down and go back to what I'm originally supposed to be doing. So organizing your thoughts, that's another big perk of the to-do list. I think that's a really great point on there.
I agree. I mean, I feel like you said, we have a lot of really big, complex things that we're working on because we're working on multiple businesses at one time and multiple, products and things like that. So they get complicated with timelines and deadlines and things and all of that. So if I couldn't organize all of it on paper, again, I would really be lost. So, and I think it keeps me on track. I mean, I love that Disney quote, everyone needs deadlines, and organizing everything and keeping it, even the really complex projects, like breaking it down, like we've talked about a lot of times, breaking it down into the small pieces so it's more manageable. And it also goes back to that self-esteem piece where it's really overwhelming when you're working on something really big and complicated and you feel like you're not making any headway. If you can break it down into that small pieces for your organizational tool of your to-do list, you really do get that sense of accomplishment. So if you're writing a book that's got to be 14 chapters and your publisher's like, it's got to be 50,000 words, that seems like, no, thank you. It's monumental. How am I going to get 50,000 words? But if you break it into, okay, I'm going to write 500 words a day. That's only 2 pages. If I can get 2 pages done a day, I can write this book and it's going to be okay. It's not going to take me forever. So
I got to tell you that I had a rough week last week, and some things that I've learned from you since doing this show brought me through. So you talk all the time about small steps and how just little tiny steps can help you to get to these humongous, huge goals. Well, sometimes when you're having a bad day, like just sitting at the computer and bringing up the list of all the birthday cards that you have to send out, it seems astronomical, right?
Right, okay, absolutely.
I can't even do that today. But if you just think about the next step, and I learned this from Christy. Okay, step 1, I got to get out of bed and sit at my desk. Let me just do that. And that seemed like, I could do that. Okay, step 2, let me turn on the computer.
Right.
But it was really effective. It really was. And it just kind of helped me get through some tasks and, get back to normal as I was really struggling last week with my emotions and stuff. So organizing your thoughts, yes, absolutely on the to-do list, but also just having the to-do list to begin with. I mean, some days you have to break them down into really, really, really small pieces. So that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. And, there have actually been days where I'm having such a rough day that I will have done something and I will write it on my to-do list and then just mark it off just to get that sense of success. I mean, it's like, okay, it's something as simple as doing a load of laundry. Well, I wasn't on my to-do list, but I did it. So I'm writing it down
good
and
for
marking
you.
it off because,
Yeah.
I need that feeling. I need that feeling of,
That's a great idea. I'm going to start doing that because there are days when I was so busy, like it was crazy. But at the end of the day, if somebody were to ask me, what'd you do today? Like I wouldn't even be able to tell because I'm so focused on what's next. Like I don't even think about that. And then you end up going, oh, did I really do anything? What did I do? But like maybe I'll start writing them down just as I go, like you said. So at the end of the day, I can go, okay, wow, I really did a lot of stuff. It didn't feel like I got a lot accomplished, but I got a lot of stuff done.
exactly. It boosts that self-esteem again. It makes you feel productive and like you can do anything. If you can conquer all this, you can conquer anything. And then for our tip 10, improves time management. So it's amazing how much you can get done when you have a plan. So if you think of your to-do list as your action plan for the day rather than just wasting time, when you get a free moment, you can head straight to your list to see what's next. Or if something unexpected comes up, which happens here every day, you can quickly make adjustments to the rest of your day when everything is organized and in one place. So you know what? I really agree with this because I feel like when I have my thoughts in order and when I have a plan in order and when I have some structure and order to my day, my brain, my thought process seems more in order. So when something just hijacks it and something unexpected occurs, rather than immediately this knee-jerk reaction of stress and anxiety and, oh my God, how am I going to take care of this? I don't feel that quite as intensely because I feel like, okay, well, everything else is taken care of. I know exactly what's going on with all of this stuff. It's okay. Let me squeeze this thing in. Let me put out this fire. Yeah. It's going to be all right.
So that goes back to number one.
Have you noticed
really?
That?
I mean, it gives you some comfort, as strange as that sounds. Just knowing that your list is there, so it's gonna keep you on track. And let me just deal with, that part of me that just wants to scream and cry right now because that terrible thing happened. Let me go ahead and just put that away and look over here at my to-do list and focus on that until it's done. And then I can fall apart later if I want to. I get it.
It's like a security blanket.
Yeah. Wow. Big stuff today.
Yeah. So now that we've convinced you that using a to-do list will help you in so many ways to be more organized, productive, and efficient in your life.
Each task listed on your to-do list should be very specific and actionable. Think micro, not macro items. What does that mean, Christy? That means smaller bites, right?
Smaller bites, exactly. This goes back to our smaller steps. Think of these bite size, and I hear sometimes people talk about think of things you can get done in about a 15-minute increment. So you're not thinking, okay, my 6-hour project. You're thinking 15-minute project. Because really, even they say this always as children, that children's attention spans, like if you ever dealt with children or taught children, you hear kids' attention spans pretty much max out at 15 minutes. Guess what? As adults, it doesn't really improve that much because if you think about today's world, we're constantly bombarded with social media and all of these things. We've got all this instant gratification. So our attention spans are pretty short now. So rather than thinking of, I've got a 6-hour or an 8-hour project to do, if you can break it down into these little micro chunks of 15 minutes, you tend to just feel more productive and like you're getting more things done.
I like it.
And it's more reasonable because who has 6 to 8 hours to sit down and do something? Like, I don't know anybody that can devote that amount of time without something else getting.
So being specific
a
is really
distraction
important
coming
on
your
these
way.
lists.
Yes. And then number 2, be realistic. So set yourself up for success, not failure. So don't overfill your daily to-do list with enough items for a month. Just list what you reasonably accomplish in a day, right? This is about like building self-esteem and feeling productive and feeling good about what you're getting done. You don't want to
being realistic. It's important. We want to shoot for the moon and land among the stars, but that's a whole other episode. On your to-do list, you want to be realistic just so you just feel more accomplished, that they're real things that you can get done. Number 3, we have be creative. Make your to-do list fun. Use pictures or graphics if it makes sense. Add fun stuff on your list too, like going to the movies or out to dinner. Ooh, I like the sound of that. So your to-do lists aren't just for work and things you don't want to do. I never thought about it this way. This is genius. You have to make time for fun in your life, right?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, and if you think about your to-do list as kind of like your little plan and structure for the day, I mean, maybe you do have something fun going on, like you're going to go out to the movies or to dinner or to a show or something. Definitely put that on your list because it's something you're going to accomplish and do that day.
Absolutely.
And it's really something to look forward to. And then number 4, our final helpful way to create your to-do list is make multiple lists. To create multiple to-do lists, you can break them down time-wise, like daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, or even break them down by area of your life, like work or home or school. Kind of like what I talked about, I have on my phone my upcoming list, which is like my bigger list for the week, and then my daily list. I like having
this is something I just started
do you do that?
About a month ago. I have a notebook for my beauty and skincare business, and it has my goals and my dreams and the things I want to do and the videos I want to shoot and all that. And then I have another notebook for my entertainment business, and that has all the, the individual things inside. So it's kind of worked good for me because when I have that moment of, okay, I want to shift over here to the Mary Kay business, I know I can grab that pink notebook and look at that and go back and refresh my memory on the ideas I had and the things I want to accomplish. So yeah, multiple lists. I got multiple notebooks these days.
I like that. I do the same thing. I do, instead of like a 3-ring binder kind of thing, I do like spiral notebooks. So I have different spiral notebooks. They're all different colors. I have a coordinating folder for each color, and depending on whether it's classes or home stuff or bills and financial stuff or business, each one has its own set of spiral notebook and folder.
Yeah, so we're maniacs.
I'm a little obsessed.
We're not
about
the average
that kind of
bear, but we're getting it.
That'll be another episode about our compulsions that we have, the little crazy things that we do. It's okay. I'm sure we're not alone.
Right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If we've inspired you to get going on your to-do list, you can check out our website, newlivingthedreampodcast.com, for more information. And if you've already been using to-do lists in your life, we would love to hear from you. Please share a photo of you conquering your to-do list in our Facebook group, Simple Dream Life Strategies. We can't wait to get inspired by your success.
Thanks for listening to Living the Dream podcast, where we know it's not just about achieving your goals in the future, it's about enjoying your journey along the way.
All right.
Thanks for listening to Living the Dream podcast. Music for today's episode was provided by Peter Alden's Kingdom Classics, now available for purchase on our website. This presentation represents the opinions of the hosts and guests of the show. Our show is informational and for entertainment purposes only. Always consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we are sharing is accurate, we welcome your comments and suggestions. Contact information for Krista Joy can be found at disneyways.com/connect. Reach out to Christy Fredericks at disneyworldenthusiast.com/about. At Living the Dream podcast, we know it's not just about achieving your goals in the future, it's about enjoying your journey along the way.